Hi everyone, this is Amber from Dolls of Amber, and today I'm back with another video. It's been a while since I uploaded a new video, but that's just because I was busy working on my commissions. I was working on 3 dolls in total, and 2 of them will have a video. One of them is this. Today we're making a Tate McRae doll, specifically her look in the revolving door music video. I absolutely love how this doll turned out, so without further ado, let's get started. For this project, we'll be using Monster Ball Cleo, since I think her features are really close to Tate. I'm just prepping her up as usual. You've seen me do this 1,000 times now, but basically I'm just cutting her hair, heating up her head, and removing the stubbles from the inside. Once that is all done, I'm gonna remove her face with some pure acetone. I use a Q-tip for this and a cotton pad, making sure that her face is really clean. And that's it for the face. Now I'm gonna move on to her body. I'm gonna be sanding her down with my Dremel tool. Since G3 Cleo has sculpted mummy wrapping, I'm also making sure to wear a mask for this to protect myself. In the end, I went outside to continue doing this since the microplastic was just getting everywhere and it was really annoying. This is the first time I'm using my new Dremel tool, so I wasn't really sure what I was getting myself into, and I didn't know that it was gonna get really chaotic. But yeah, basically I'm just removing these sculpted mummy wrappings on her leg and her arms. I really love G3 Cleo's body type, but it's a little hard to appreciate as a customizer because of the mummy wrappings. So next time if I want to use this particular body type, I might just go for Spectra because I did not have fun with Cleo's body. Another part that I did not have fun with was the sanding. I had to do this for, I don't know, maybe an hour just to get it as smooth as possible since the Dremel was just taking away all of the bumps and not necessarily smoothing it out. So I had to do that manually with some sandpapers and different grits. I also did this for her underwear part since I didn't want that to show later on. And then again, I sanded everything down to make it smooth as possible. Time for her reroot. I've already painted her scalp to match the hair. We're gonna be using 2 colors for this. I wasn't really sure which one matched her the best, so I'm just gonna blend them together. As usual, I'm doing the knot method for this reroot. I've also shown this to you guys 1,000 times already. But then again, I grabbed a piece of hair, looped it on my finger, grabbed it with my rerooting tool, and as you can see, it did create a knot on the end, and then I just poked that into the hole. This is pretty secure on its own, but you can still use some glue afterwards if you want to add a layer of security and durability on your reroots. I also like to start doing this on the part line. I know some people like to start at the back and then they work their way up, and they usually do the part line last. Honestly, I don't really have a reason on why I do it this way. I kind of just got used to it and I've been doing it ever since. But it really just depends on you and your style in rerooting. You don't really have to follow me or copy what I do. This is after I finished doing the part line and the hairline. And I'm just gonna fill in the back. I don't do this in one sitting, by the way, so after doing these 2 parts, I went to sleep and did it the next day. And this is the next day. I started filling in the back, slowly working on it. Basically, I'm doing this whole reroot in 2 days. I don't like doing it in one sitting because it burns me out and I hate that. And here it is a couple of hours later. As you can see, I have done like a lot of progress and I'm almost done. I just need to do the sides. I just need to fill those in and I should be all done. And it's all done. I really love how it turned out, although it's registering as yellow on camera. It's actually more of a dirty blonde than yellow, but yeah, I think it's just my lighting. Now I'm just gonna dye her roots to match Tate. Since this hair blend alone is not accurate at all, I went for a boil wash first to set her hair in place, and I'm just gonna comb that out, making sure that everything is smooth. And now we can start dyeing her hair. I'm just gonna use these sachets. It's called Sunshine Fast Dyes, and these are for fabric. But I've used this on synthetic hair before and it works fine. You can also use for dye if you want, but that's not really available in where I live. So for now, I'm just gonna use this. I use 2 sachets for this and I'm just blending it really well into the water. It has to be really hot, boiling water by the way. And now I'm just gonna dip her head in there. I'm doing this slowly, making sure that it does not get on the ends of her hair and just the upper side of her head. I'm also gonna brush it into her hair to blend it in. Also, this can stain the vinyl, so if you're doing this, be very cautious. I'm gonna paint her face anyway, so it's not a problem for me. But yeah, if you're just gonna do this on your doll, be very careful to not get it on the face. If you do, however, get it on the face, make sure to wash it right away. This is what it looks like after it dried. Later on, I did go for another pass of the hair dye since I felt like this wasn't dark enough. But now I'm just using some Uhu glue to glue the inside of her hair, and I'm just spreading that inside with a Q-tip. We're gonna take a break on the head for now, and we're gonna start painting the body. I mixed in this warmer skin color for Tate, but later on you'll see me change this because I wasn't really happy with how it was looking. Basically, it dried a bit too dark and ashy, and I did not like that, so I started over. This time I primed her body first with some white spray paint, and then I went over that with my skin color paint. And I'm just layering my pan pastel over that to add coverage and also hide any brush strokes. And now we can do some body blushing. Tate is really tan, so I went really heavy with the blushing for this doll since I wanted her to be as accurate as possible. And we can finally start her face up. I also primed her face first with some white spray paint. And on top of that, I did spray a couple of layers of MSC. And I'm just painting her face with some watered down acrylic paint. I think I did about 2 layers for this. But once that is done, we can finally start sketching out her face. At first, I wanted to use solely just my color pencils. But you'll see later on that I decided to just use acrylic paint for the whole face up, since honestly it just looked more cleaner to me and more polished. But enough about that, let's talk about Tate. I'm not really a big fan of hers. I only know her from TikTok, from her song Grady. But while I was working on this commission, I started listening to her music to, get really into it. And I'm afraid I'm a fan now. I really like her songs. She also reminds me so much of Britney Spears, and I love that. She just has the same vibe, like the way she dances and her voice, it's very similar. Honestly, I wish she gets more recognition, kind of like how Chappell Roan and Sabrina Carpenter blew up last year. I feel like she deserves it. She looks like she works really hard, and I looked up some videos of her performing, and you can see that she really gives it her all whenever she's dancing. She just looks so good and professional. You just saw me block out the colors for her eyes and her lips, and now I'm just doing her eyebrows. Tate has some really straight and thick eyebrows, so I'm trying to replicate that here. Also, if you haven't noticed it yet, I did not use any black on her makeup. I just mixed a darker brown, and I used that to line her eyes and her lashes. It just gives her a more softer look, since I am referencing her makeup in the Revolving Door music video. And I'm just adding a lot of details into her eyes. I'm also adding in her catch lights. Usually I just add dots for the eye shines, but lately I've been giving my dolls this line of light in their eyes, and I just think it looks really good and adds a lot to the face up. With some paint similar to skin tone, I'm also adding in some lines in her eyebrows. And I'm a little out of frame here, but I'm adding some details in her lips. And for final details, I'm just giving her her beauty marks. And I'm just adding more blush to her face. And we're finally done with the face up. I think she looks so beautiful. What do you guys think? Now I'm just gonna add some varnish on her eyes to give it a little shine. Now it's time for her outfit. It's gonna be pretty simple because again, we are referencing the revolving door music video and her outfit there is pretty basic, so this is gonna be an easy project. Here are the pattern pieces I'm using. I'm gonna make her a tank top and some panty shorts. I'm gonna start up by hemming the top by hand. Decided to do this by hand because it's much more easier for me since this piece is really small and I don't trust my machine to do a good job on this. I'm doing the same thing for the shorts. I'm just hemming the leg opening. This is what the top looks like after hemming. I've also glued in the Velcro and I'm gonna sew that in with my machine. And I just attached the straps off camera and the top is all done. I also finished up the shorts and I'm just gonna turn it inside out here to show you guys what it looks like. It did end up a little too big, so off camera I adjusted it a bit to fit Tate better. Now for her long sleeve shirt, these are the pieces I'm working with. I made it a bit oversized for Tate. I'm gonna attach the sleeves first and then sew on the sides. This is what the sleeves looks like attached. And I'm just gonna cut the middle of the front for the opening of the shirt. Afterwards, I'm gonna go hem all the raw edges. This is me closing up the sides. This is what it looks like after. And I'm just gonna attach a collar to the neckline. Now that the collar is attached, all I need to do is hem the bottom part. And I'm gonna do this by hand since the bottom has some curved edges and it's much more easier to do this by hand than on the machine. Now we can finally move on to the hair. This is the final step in this custom and we're almost done. We just need to give her some loose curls. I'm just gonna split her hair into two sections as you can see here. And I'm gonna curl them in opposite directions. After curling, I'm gonna clip that away while it's still hot. And I'll let that cool down while I curl the other parts. I also like to use curling mousse to help the hair curl better. But this is not really necessary. I just like to do it as an extra step to help with the curling process. And I'm just gonna do this all throughout the hair. We are finally done with her hair. It's a little too defined and Tate McRae actually wears her hair pretty loose. So I'm just loosening up the curls with my fingers and brushing it with a hairbrush. And we're finally done with Tate. Here's a close-up look at her. I really love how she turned out. I think she's so beautiful. For her earrings, I use Renee from the Barbie Dream Besties line. Here's a closer look at her outfit. I know she also wore a bra in the music video, but the client opted for the tank top instead, so that's what I made for her. This is what the long sleeve shirt look in the back. I think it looks really good. My favorite part about this custom is the body blushing, and as you can see, it's very prominent. I also think I did a pretty good job in sanding Cleo's leg. At first, I wasn't really sure if it looked good, but looking at it now, it looks pretty seamless. I'm also using these shoes from Shadow High Heather Grayson. I just spray painted it white and sealed it with some matte Mod Podge. I also gave her some nails and painted them white. And I guess that's all for this style. Let's move on to the glamour shots. you made it this far into the video, thank you so much for watching. There will be another video for next week, and I'm very excited to show it to you guys. I'm trying to make more content to upload weekly since I'm very serious about this content creating thing. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure to like and subscribe. Please do share this with your friends as well, or anyone who might be a fan of Tate McRae. I'll also list down all my other social medias if you want to follow me. Again, thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys again soon. Goodbye and take care.